So once you launch your CorelDRAW, you click on New, you write your file name, you choose your paper size, you change to inches, you click on OK. So this is our CorelDRAW working environment. This is the color palettes. This is the toolbar. This is the property bar. This is the standard toolbar, and we have the menu bar here. So if any of these toolbar is missing, you can click on an empty space here. So these are the toolbars. Anyone that is missing, you can mark any of them. So there are some of the tools here, like the zoom to the text tool. They are not actually important, because when you pick the tool now, it will transform the property bar to that particular tool. For example, if I pick my zoom tool, you see the property bar has now turned to the zoom tool. So that is how it works. So this is our printable area. This is our A4 size paper. So when you are making your designs, make sure you choose the right paper, because this is subject to change. Reason being that we have different type of paper, and we have different size of paper. So this size you are seeing here small is an A4 paper size. So if you want to change the paper size, you can still come on the property bar and make your changes. For example, if I want to use A3 paper, I will come on the property bar and click on A3. So you see this, the paper has changed, and you can change your measurement to inches. This is the orientation. You can make it portrait or landscape here. So now this place is called the ruler. It helps in taking your measurement. So but we are using A4 paper. So now our first tool, we have the pick tool. Pick tool is used in highlighting and selecting of object on a straight line. That is the function of the pick tool. So I'm going to draw 3 shapes here, so you see how the pick tool works. So I'm going to zoom them. So now if I want to make any change, I can just highlight that particular object and make my change. You see the pick tool is selecting on a straight line. I can give it a color. So that is that. We have another tool which is called the free hand transform tool. It selects zigzag. You can select and keep some of the objects on the same line. So watch. You see that we have selected 2 objects, leaving the middle one, so we can do our changes. You see, we have left the middle one. So that is that. So we have another tool which is called the free transform tool. It helps to increase or to decrease the size of an object. You can decrease, you can increase. So that is that. Our next tool is the shape tool. The shape tool helps us in curving or cropping an object. So for example, now let's try to apply it on this rectangle. I want to make it big. So this is our shape tool. You see that? So this is one of its functions. It has a lot of functions. So our next tool is the smooth brush. The smooth brush is smoothing an object by dragging along the line. So let's apply a smoothing brush on this rectangle. I want to zoom it so that you will see it very clear. I can curve the edge of this angle using my smooth tool. So I hope you have seen that. So we have another tool here which is called the twill. Watch what the twill can do. Yeah, there you go. So that is the function of the twill tool. So we have also another tool there which is called the attract tool. I also draw my rectangle here. And use my attract tool. Transform objects to different forms and different shapes. Similar to the repair tool. We also have another tool which is the repair tool. Has a similar function. Once I click on the node, you see that? Yes. So that is the function of the repair tool. We have another tool which is called the smooth brush. This can help us to have something like a pipe within this shape. I hope you have seen that. We have another tool which is the roughing brush. The roughing brush is used to distort the edges of an object or a line. There you go. Let me zoom in so that you can see. You see? Yeah, that is the function of the roughing brush. So we have another tool here, the cropping tool. It's just like the cropping tool we have in the phone. And we have another tool here which is called the knife tool. The knife tool is used in cutting of objects. So if I want to cut this object, I can just apply my knife tool. There you go. You see that? It's used in cutting of objects and shapes. So we have another tool which is a visual segment delete. Watch. Delete the other segment. And we have another tool which is called the eraser. So if I give color to anything and I want to erase the color, I can use my eraser to erase that color completely. So watch. Yeah, there you go. Our next tool is the line tool. We have the freehand tool, we have 2-point line, we have the brazier, we have the rest of them. You can play along with them and know how to use them. So our next tool is the artistic media tool. So if I pick my artistic media tool, I click on it, I will come on my property bar. There are a lot of categories here. We have plants, we have food and the rest of them. So if I choose plants, there are plants that are regimented designs inside already. So if I choose any of them, and if I draw, I will see my plants there. Yep, we have the polygons, we have star, we have complex star, we have all of them. You can play along with them. So all of them, they are shapes. So whenever you need a particular shape, instead of wasting your time to draw, you can just come and pick the shape and draw. So our next tool is called the text tool. The text tool is used in writing in COREL. So whatever thing that you want to write, you can pick your text tool and write. So if I want to make any change, I will highlight it. If it is color, I can change the color. If I want to change the font style, I can click on this property bar here. There are a lot of styles. Here. There are many of them. I can choose any one of my choice. We have the font size here. There are lots of them. If I want to use 172, 48, any font size at all. And we have U here, underline, we have italicized, and we have bold. You can make all the changes using your property bar. So our next tool is the table. You can use it in drawing of tables and graphs. So you can add the row, you can add the columns here. If you need more of the row, you can add, and if you need more of the columns, you can also add from here. We have another tool here, the parallel dimensions. We have angles, we have the rest of them. If I want to draw an angle here, watch. I can also form another angle here. And we have connectors. They help us to connect shapes together. So if I click on any of them, for example, I can connect this shape with this. Watch. There you go. So you can play along with them. We have another tool which is called the drop shadow tool. So I'm drawing a star here. So this is my drop shadow tool. I can pick my drop shadow tool. We apply the shadow on my star here. So if I want to change the color, I can change it to any color of my choice. I change it to any color. So I can come here on the property bar and click on outside. Click on outside. So we have the opacity here to increase the width of the color. You can make a lot of changes on the shadow using the property bar. And we have what is called the presets. You see the way they are appearing. This is how you can apply the shadow on any object. So we have another tool which is called the contours. So if I draw my rectangle here and I click on my contours, the contours will help me to have a concentric of this shape. So if I apply my contour, there you go. So we have another tool which is the blend. So the blend can connect these two shapes. There you go. So we have another tool also which is called the distort tool. I can apply it on this. So let me show you the function. It's normally help you to change the shape an object by dragging on the nodes. So if I want to make any change on this name, I can just my tool. I will pick my envelope tool. You see, let me zoom it out so that you can see it very clear. If I hold on this node, you see that I can even form a circle with this name. So this is the function of the envelope tool. We have another tool which is called the extrude tool. It is used in applying a 3D effect on an object. You see that? Yeah. Our next tool is the distort tool. It is used in transforming object, text, shapes by twisting on the object. For example, let's try the circle. Let's try the text. So now we are going to apply the distort tool. Watch. You can transform it in different forms. So whatever thing you want to do, you can try to make some changes by yourself and know what you can achieve using the distort tool. The text also, see that. Let's apply our zoom tool there. You can give this a color. Give it an outline color. So you can do awesome things with the distort tool. Our next tool, which is called the block shadow tool. The block shadow tool is used in applying a vector shadow on an object or a text. When they are talking about vector shadow, they are talking about magnitude and direction. So let's try to apply the shadow on this polygon and see. You see that? You can still adjust that. So that is the function on the black shadow tool. Our next tool is called the transparency tool. Transparency tool can help us to see through an object. Something that is transparent, something that you can see through the other side. So let me demonstrate it. We have a shape here, a rectangle. Let me give it a color. So now I want to duplicate this shape. Yeah, I'm going to give it another color. So now if I take this shape back, you see I cannot see through the other side. But if I apply my transparency tool on this shape, I can see through. It can even help you to give more colors. So that is the function of the transparency tool. Our next tool is the color eyedropper tool. The color eyedropper tool helps us to transfer a color or to copy a color from one object to another, especially colors that are customized. It will be very difficult for you to copy or to give that same customized color to a different object. For example, now if I have a triangle here, so now I click on my property bar under shadow colors. So These are customized colors. So I can select any of the colors here. Those colors are similar but they are not the same. So assuming I apply this color on anything, it will be very difficult for me to fetch out this color again. For example, look at this. This color, this color, this color. They are very similar but they are not the same. How do you know that they are not the same? Okay, when you click on the color now, you see the percentage. You see cyan is 35%. See cyan is 51%. Cyan is 49%. Cyan is 46%. So they are not the same colors. So when you try to copy these colors, you might not know the exact color. So the eyedropper helps you to copy that color from one object to another. So our next tool is called the attributes eyedropper. It helps us to copy the fill, the outline, and the effect of an object to another object. For example, if I want to copy all the effects, the color, and the outline, I will just copy and click. So their difference is that the color eyedropper can only copy the color, while the attributes can copy both the outline, the fill, and the effects. Our next tool is the interactive fill tool. Interactive fill tool helps us to give color and textures to our COREL Pro designs. So if you want to apply some textures, there are a lot of textures. There are a lot of fountain fill here. Then there are a lot of designs. You can choose any one of your choice. We have textures. So many of the textures. Let me zoom it. You can add their size and you can reduce. We have bitmap patterns. There are so many of them. You can increase their size. Hope you have seen that. You can change their style. So that is that. Our next tool is the mesh fade tool. It helps us to customize our color using a grid line. So I'm going to zoom this so that you can see it very clear. So I'm going to apply our grid line. You can come on the property bar here and add new grid line. So anywhere you highlight any of the nodes here, you can apply your color. So that is how the mesh fade tool works.
If you enjoy what you have watched, kindly hit the like button and subscribe.